Hello and welcome back to another episode of Planet Coaster, where we are continuing work on the Pirates Cove, even though technically I guess we're moving out of the pirate area at this point. So just some minor details to add before we do that. There's this winding path that's going to go up to this upper level, which will start kind of our rainforest. Well, as much of a rainforest as we can actually make with the current tree assets and things, but it's going to be dense. Very dense trees and shrubbery up there, so it's going to be a nice visual break from all these buildings and stuff. Today's episode, we are going to be kind of working on a small, I guess, pit stop that's on the way up to the Mayan/Aztec area. It's kind of more deeper into the forest, just like the pirate section, how it has a actual kind of greeting area near the front before the long walk down into the main park. This is going to have a small kind of thatched forestry village as well. So that's something that's going to be a little unique. I'm going to add some foliage up here on the cliff face as well. A lot of these rocks on that main path is there just until we get the kind of terrain tool. I didn't want it to be just this floating ramp, and so that was bugging me a little bit, and that's why there's a bunch of rocks kind of surrounding that pathway. Here, this is kind of the main thatched building for the village, and all of these, I think there's about 3, maybe 4 little buildings that's going to be in this little thing, and they're all going to be these thatched kind of roofs. And I'm mainly just trying to play with style at this point to try and make it look a little less piratey, though I don't know how well that's going for us, as I've been kind of building in the pirate theme for so long that I feel like I am unintentionally kind of still in that mindset. So that's something we're going to be working on before we get into the Aztec temple and things, which is probably here in the next episode or so is when we're going to get into that. There's kind of an Aztec wall I want to build first that's kind of dividing the main two areas rather nicely. Right, so we're using some canvas here to make some additional peaks, some additional overhangs on this structure. This one's actually going to have 2 facilities inside. It's going to have a restroom and I believe a food stall, so our people can stop here and get their kind of bathroom break and re-energize with some food. There's some loose campgrounds around here as well. Gonna use some awnings to just bring in some more color rather than just this kind of yellowy tan thatch structure. These hanging lanterns, I love these as light sources, at least for villages and things like that. I think it really kind of fits the theme out here in the wilderness. They're going to have very minimal lighting sources, so that's why it's like that. Now this bathroom, because it's this plastery structure, we're going to end up kind of covering it with stone and things like that to try and make it, I guess, fit in some sort of way. Maybe it's a stone bathroom rather than plaster, because I wanted everything to be kind of wooden in essence, but I don't know how well that was accomplished in the long run. But hey, it's all a work in progress. You can't really get hung up. You just have to keep building and trying to grow your visual library over time. Adding a bunch of scaffolding as these kind of false walls around the structure as well, I think is a pretty neat trick. And then here, this is pretty much the general shape for the main kind of town hall structure for the small village. A little bit of skipping going on just because of the recording glitches that were plaguing me, I guess, today. There's nothing I can really do about it, and again, I guess I apologize just because I feel like I'm kind of failing, I guess, this recording a little bit, but oh well, keep moving on. We're gonna do a nice little ring here for the centerpiece, and kind of a loose path connecting to the main walkway. Again, this is just kind of a side stop. It's not really a main attraction. There's no rides or anything. It's just there to make sure everyone keeps their happiness up as they walk up this giant hill. I'm sure they're gonna get a little tired from it. Now this plastered building, because it's actually inset into the structure itself, I can actually use kind of the wooden roof trim as nice elements to make it match as much as possible. Here, sadly, a lot of that tree and shrubbery placement was cut out, so and skipped through. Essentially, I'm trying to emulate this very dense kind of jungle feeling as you're coming up, and then it's going to kind of open up to this village area here. So we have a new small thatch building that's kind of off to the right, and then also we have another little 2-story thatch building as well. And all of this is going to be kind of densely packed with shrubs and trees, get our foliage in, all nice and neat, and we can see just how well this will slowly start coming together. Here, gonna put, I believe, our drink stall, and try and embed that slightly behind the wall to make it look like it's actually a part of the building a little bit more. And then we'll be using the wooden roof trim, just like last time, to make it look like a wooden structure over a plastered building. Still not really perfect. I kind of can't wait till the fantasy theme set gets added, as I think we're going to have a little bit more options with wood at that point to try and make it look a little bit more nice and clean. People are actually already starting to make their way up here, which is pretty cool. And they at least check it out, stop by some of the stalls, and then just go back down into the park for now. Adding some lights to these upper areas. It's going to hopefully look pretty cool at night, since this map doesn't really have a full night cycle yet. It kind of speeds through the night, so until then I kind of can't really go in depth with lighting, and it's just kind of where we are. Again, using some scaffolding as some false walls, and to just throw in some nice little wooden details, maybe their support beams and structures attached. This structure over here, I believe this is going to be a hat shop. Yep, that definitely looks like the hat shop, with another kind of wooden effect to try and seal it off and at least make it look a little bit more rustic than Spanish or Italian. And we'll go ahead and mess with the center ring here. I didn't really like the campsite in the middle, and I'm going to try and make tents. I was thinking about maybe doing a market stall here, like the lower areas of the pirate section, but I felt like that was too similar, and so what I've decided to do was make little tents out of the canvases and sink them into the ground a little bit, and so maybe some people can stay in them. It just basically makes a nice wider encampment than the default pirate one. Gonna add some rocks, little greenery bits here in the back. I like this other tree that we have other than the oaks, essentially, and they have a nice kind of overhang possibilities with the roads, unlike these thicker, fuller trees where they might be taller and more full, but building them close to roads I think is a little bit bad to do unless you're making a wall of trees like we did here along the main path. Yeah, sinking a lot of trees into the ground to make shrubbery, using these other types to bring in different colors of green, and you can see this whole area start to be filled in, and it's going to start slowly looking like a forest, jungle-like thing. I feel like I need a lot more palm variations for it to be a little bit more jungle, kind of rainforesty, but hey, this is kind of where we're at. Gonna add just a little hint of light on one of the tents, and then bring some more lighting on that other structure and over this food area as well. Anyways, I think this looks nice. I don't know how successful it was in the long run, because it's so... We're just so limited, I guess. I don't know how well a jungle theme can really be built, but it's kind of what we got and what we're working with on a constant basis. We're going to use some barrels, though, sunk into the ground to make some stepping platforms over stones to get into those back corner encampments. And then I was thinking about maybe putting a tree in the center there, but it really, I don't know. I think it made it look a little too cluttered in the center. We'll add some storage, though, in one of the tents, and then pretty much call this section of the park done. Again, it's just a little stop off before we head into the main kind of Mayan Aztec area, and I hope you guys enjoyed the look of this speed build as we move on to some more, I guess, nice shots of it. Okay, so this is what everything kind of looks like in real time. As I said, I think it turned out fairly well. I'm sure there are some issues that you guys will point out, and I'll go ahead and fix them when you do. That's kind of the give and take we give to each other, and that's kind of why I enjoy doing these so much. Though, I am getting a little worn out of creative games so much. It's starting to take its toll, I think. I hope you guys enjoyed the rant video from yesterday, though. So, here is, I guess, the nice kind of rock formation for this path. And it looks pretty grand and pretty nice, I think. We're using the sandstone color to be more of a dirt kind of off-road pathing. A little less formal than using the cobblestone pathing that is everywhere else in the town. Here's a nice shot of how dense the wall of foliage is for separating the path and kind of the hidden village that you're going to be walking around and kind of, I guess, discovering as you come over here. And I'm thinking about putting another path here and then some more little buildings off camera, I guess in between episodes. So yeah, these are, I guess, the up-close details of the build, and I think it turned out fairly well. Don't really know what to do about the interior of some of these buildings. I'm thinking about leaving them as is, as, you know, they're just kind of cots and beds as you need it. I really like how we were able to get a second story on some of these, though, and especially being able to at least make it look believable and realistic in some way. I really do like these little kind of openings at the tops of these buildings for like either smoke to escape or just for a nice flow of air. And then of course our little pieces of ropes here and there really bring it out. Kind of a nice little glimpse of what it might look like at nighttime. Kind of wish I kind of could have showed you guys the rest of the park at that moment, just so you can see that area. But yeah, I think that's going to do us for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, if y'all enjoyed the content, feel free to subscribe. Go ahead and give me suggestions on or pictures to work off of, or whatever you guys want for the next episode. As always, you guys are basically helping me build this. And I'll see you guys next time in some Planet Coaster.